Good morning, everyone. It's November 9th. Happy Tuesday. We are going to have an amazing, powerful conversation today. The topic today is the power of purpose. We have a special guest with us here today, the Almighty King. I will let him introduce himself soon. My name is Niki Martinez. My pronouns are she, her, we. I'm the Chief Operating Officer at Youth Empowerment here in San Diego, California. This is my surprise right here.
Thank you. My name is Arturo Soriano. I made it after a difficult morning / car accident coming down University Avenue. Thank God for commercial insurance. Thank God for insurance. I'm well, I'm healthy, and I'm here present in the presence of greatness with Nani Alejandras, and we'll let him introduce himself in a little bit.
Yes. Before we get started, you guys know I want to start out with a quote. So as we were talking, I was thinking about different things of just the different journeys that we've all been able to experience, right? And there was just so much power in, of course, I always believe that there's power in all of the quotes, but this one just kind of touched me. And the closeout quote, I'm telling you, stay tuned for the closeout quote. Of course, stay tuned for Nane, but let me drop a little bit of knowledge on you on our way out the door, okay? So our start out quote is, beauty is not who you are on the outside. It is the wisdom and time you gave away to save another struggling soul like you. And that's by Shannon L. Alder. And I thought that that was powerful because I know that we're in a work and we're in a movement to help empower people, to save souls, to create a community that feels empowered and makes a difference. And so with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and pass it over to Arthur so he can introduce Mr. Nane.
Thank you, Nikki. And, Nane, I'll let him introduce himself, but the first impression that I received from Nane was from a conference that we were part of in Washington, D.C. a few years back. We had a lot of individuals with lived experience. You're talking about Northern California, Southern California, Florida, Washington, D.C., Mississippi, Atlanta, etc. But that unity of us coming together was really, really powerful. And the presentation, the representation that was there, and the collaboration that represents peace, no violence, coming together. Barrios Unidos is the perfect name, right, for what Nane has represented his entire life and decades of doing the work. Just really proud of being in his presence. And Nikki and I were looking forward to our trip this week of going to Santa Cruz and learning from him and getting understanding and, participating in a sweat lodge for the very first time. I've never done that in my life. So I'm really excited about that, right? And so to have that first experience of participating that and, seeing how that feels for me as an individual. So, Nane, you have the floor. Can you give us some history of who Nane is?
Well, thank you, both of you first. We give thanks to the Creator for this beautiful rain we need so much up here in Northern California. Blessings to all the relatives down south, and as our relatives throughout history have traveled back and forth. There is no boundaries, and I've always believed that our relatives down south and the relatives up here up north, we are all one of the same. And I'll follow up with Nikki's quotes because I also love quotes. And I'm gonna just read a quote of one of my mentors. Says, "We must stop practicing genocide on each other." And this is by Harry Belafonte. We were doing a radio show in San Francisco from Sister Soul up in the Arcata. They used to program to our brothers in Pelican Bay, and we were on the phone with Sister Soul on a Sunday, playing her oldies, and the message was to our brothers inside that we must stop practicing genocide on each other. And it was such an incredible statement at that time. It still is. But to be broadcasting directly to our brothers in the SHU, I think it was before it was way before the peace treaty signing and all that, and just want to start that way, that we've been on this journey for some time in terms of practicing peace. Nani Alejandres, Daniel Nani Alejandres. Can you hear me?
Yeah, Aaliyah, is there any way that you can help support put his volume up, because we're having the time hearing him over here, and we want to make sure that everything that he says is definitely heard.
Testing 1, 2. Can you hear it?
Yes.
Okay, I think we're as high as we can get there. I hope you can hear it.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, we could hear
Hear
it.
you.
And before you continue, the Sister of Soul, right? Because I remember that name. That's the radio station.
The radio station, yes.
Okay, I got it. I remember her. Okay. Go ahead, Nani.
Yeah, well, it's hard to really say the words that you want to say, because I'm a person, I speak with my hands, gestures and stance and all that, and the homies in the neighborhood do. You have a different language when you're in the street. You're talking and stuff, and so we have had to get used to this Zoom and talking on camera to our relatives, but it's got to be done because of the situation that we're in. So bear with me. I'm not a pro at this. I usually like to see people's eyes, shake their hand, and welcome the relatives like that. But we'll give it a try. And then, but let me first say that I'm also sitting next to greatness too, one of our queens here, and a person that I really, really am very proud of all the accomplishments that she's done. It was all the challenges that we face, and especially women, and what we're going to be talking about today, and that is Miss Aaliyah.
Hello.
Yeah, and she'll introduce herself in a little bit, but I just want to let people know when we're sharing the screen here, and but in Barrios Unidos goes back many years, and in Chicano Park there's a mural that's been there for years. It says Barrios Unidos, and Barrios Unidos, the shout out of Barrios Unidos have been used for many years in many places. What we did in 1977, we took the concept of Barrios Unidos and started to adopt it to an organization of peace, an organization that just what it says is, how can we unite our barrios? How can we bring people together? Up in Northern California, we were having a lot of violence in our communities, just like in your neighborhoods. Very few people were speaking out. We were blessed to have been connected to some veteranos there in San Diego, LA, and Bakersfield, San Jose, Fresno, and here in Santa Cruz and Salinas. And so we all came together to form the En Barrio Warfare movement. And then out of that sprang Barrios Unidos. We took on the National Coalition of Barrios Unidos, where we started to have chapters all over the country, all the way to Washington, D.C., where, there was our brother Luis Cardona and Juan Pacheco out there, Alex Santillanes out in Washington State, Albino Garcia out in Albuquerque, and many other cities in San Antonio, and just Nebraska, all over where Raza was having problems with the violence and being committed by our own people against our own, and so we had to stand up and we had to say, you know what, ya basta, We got to come together. We got to figure out a way how to get out of this. And we knew that a lot of this, especially in California, a lot of this was going on within the institutions, and we knew that we needed to go into the institutions to talk to some of the brothers there. That we needed help. We needed because a lot of shorties, a lot of little homies, they were looking up to all the guys coming out of prison and as role models, and says we can change this. We can not and because I never talked down on a barrio. I never disrespected a barrio. I never disrespected anybody's belief. But I also believe that we have to tell the truth, and we have to tell the truth where when you see mothers crying that are losing their sons or daughters to violence by our own, we have to say something. We have to speak up. And so it was hard to go into the institutions. So the way we were able to go was to talk about cultural and spiritual awareness, because we know that if we're culturally connected and spiritually aware, we're going to think about what we do. We're going to think about our actions. So as we ventured in over 30 years ago into the institutions, and started off in Tracy Prison, where there was a madness going on. And what we did in 93, we brought in the drum, the Aztec dancers, and the medicine. And as 2,000 men out in the yard experienced that day, is that the women were the power of peace. And through the drumming and the dancing, and inviting the men to come and dance and participate in the friendship dance, where nobody had never happened. And men just came out of the bleachers to grab hands with black, white, people from different areas, different directions, all dancing and being led by Laura Castro, one of the leaders of the Mexica movement up here. And it was so powerful that the COs were coming out of everywhere, trying to figure out what's going on. Why are they? What's happening? They couldn't believe that men could come together and dance in peace and smile, and people that had differences let go of that and continue to dance. It was a very emotional experience, but it taught us something. It taught us that if we can bring that culture and that spirit together and that medicine, that people can change, and you leave it up to them to change. So it wasn't us about trying to create peace. It was the medicine and the spirit. And so from then on, we were there for 17 years. Every year, we'd keep coming back. And it grew to a multicultural movement. And then that movement spread to other institutions, and we were invited to other institutions. At the present time, we're based in Soledad Central, where I'm going to be at tonight. We're doing a transcommunality class and trying to learn about each other's culture and music, and bringing in again two other incredible women, Annie Safford, saxophone player, and Danda De Ora from Brazil, singer and dancer. And we're going to do the same thing again, is to bring peace to our brothers and bring education. So it's a whole different set. It's a whole different day, time, and now, with everything that's going on. And so we're looking forward to that.
Wow, Donnie. You were just explaining how you came in, the spiritual, the culture, and as you're explaining this, I'm putting myself like inside the CDCR. Unfortunately for me, I was in a place where I was slammed down, right? Where I didn't have access to be on the yard or get programs or resources, but I was thirsty for something. I wanted change. I wanted to be a part of a purpose. I wanted education. I wanted some self-help, but the system didn't give me that opportunity because, I was in a situation where I couldn't get them resources, right? But as you're explaining this, the Aztec dancing, and I could see it. I don't know where exactly it happened, maybe a yard, right? On the yard, right? And so So on a,
Great.
on Tracy, on the yards, right? On the specific yards with the blocks around it. I'm just, as you're explaining this, I'm putting myself there, and I could see how the peace and the culture could take over because everybody's thirsty for some change, for some transformation, something different. And many individuals there don't get the resources. So, we're working from the outside, right? With the adult reentry population and programming, and then we're able to go inside to juvenile hall and all that with the kids on juvenile probation. But we yet have the experience of going inside into the CDCR prisons, right? So that's powerful.
Yeah. Well, let me back up a little bit into this work. I was my family was in contacted through CDCR. No, it was California Department of Corrections before in 1975. In 1975, 11 members of my family went to prison, including 4 women, 1 juvenile, and the rest deals and brothers and in a raid. And it hasn't stopped. That's decades. It hasn't stopped. And so that particular day, I was sitting in a classroom at Fresno City College, and I escaped that raid. And I felt that I owed, my family, and I became the transportation director for my family. From all the way from CIW to Susanville, I would run family visits. This is before all this reentry was happening. So, and then going in and bringing relatives home, going and visiting, make sure that the children were visiting, make sure that, I even have some relatives that were born in prison because the women were pregnant and stuff. So my experience it goes deep into the system. My father being incarcerated, my uncle being incarcerated, my grandfather being incarcerated. So generations and generations. And how do you break that cycle? In 1977, I found myself going to prison, and my brother had gotten out. We celebrated. Something happened. An altercation happened, and here we are. I had been locked up with my older brother back in 1965. And so I knew what it was, what that did to my family, is having 2 relatives from the same family incarcerated. And here we are back again in 1977. Lucky that I had, my family had an attorney that made a lot of money for my family. So he knew that I had something. It was my first year at UC Santa Cruz. And he went in and fought for me and said, you know what, Nane, I'm going to get you out of this, but I need you to get out of here, go back to Santa Cruz, and don't come back until you're stronger. I was strung out. I came back from Vietnam. I'm a Vietnam veteran, and I came back strung out on heroin from Vietnam. So all this journey, my family was dealing big time drugs. And so having to learn how to be a nonviolent person since 1977, and not being able to let go of the drugs until 1986. It's quite a journey. But I was blessed. UC Santa Cruz, I say that UC Santa Cruz saved my life. It gave me a way out of the neighborhood where it was respect, and it took me some time to get stronger, to go back into the neighborhood and be able to bring people out. Today I've celebrated 35 years of clean and sober. So
Wow.
Yep.
So big accomplishment, brother. And there's a key word you said where I had to learn not to be violent. I had to learn on not how to use drugs, right? So you used your turning points at that time in your life to use that to rebuild your life, right?
Yeah.
And that's what we tell our folks, like, this ain't gonna come overnight, right? We need to learn how to think differently before we react with our behaviors. That's gonna give us different consequences. So, wow, that's a big celebration for Nane.
Yes.
Yes, like 35 years, like, woo, wee.
What?
Yeah, that's
we got to give credit to where credit deserve it. Jenny, my wife Jenny, and I are gonna we have 48 years that we've been married, and is Jenny's uh, support that she never left my side. She said, "You know what? I know that deep down in you, there's a good man. You just got to let go of that monkey, And so it took. I'm so blessed that she stood by me, helped me with process. Also, my kids. When you're strung out, you do crazy things, and you know, things that you're not proud of and stuff. And I remember, taking $10 from my oldest son's paper route money to go get a fix, and to take care of myself. And believe me, I have been paying that ever since. I can't do it enough for my son. Yeah, so it's a long journey. But like I'm blessed to have had elders that believed in me, people that believed in me. I know that's all I was looking for. I was looking for people to say, you know what, I am not a drug addict. I'm not a gang member. I am a human being.
That's right.
And although there's faults and flaws, but with the support and the spiritual connection, you can do wonders, man. And no matter what it is that you're connected to, I believe in redwoods, because redwoods, I love the way they grow in families. I love the way how they support each other. And when you come, I'll show you the redwoods and how they unite. So today I tell people we got to be like the redwoods, grow tall, stand tall. And when somebody's hurting, you help them out. And they grow in families. If one's dry, the other one gives it water. If one's hurting, the other one picks it up. And that's what we got. We have to pick each other up. Today's a different ball game. Today, I have been, all over the world. I just got nominated for the ACLU Chief Justice Warren Award. I hear no homie from the neighborhood. I never thought that would ever happen. I never thought that I would be talking to Hugo Chavez for 4 times in a row. I never thought I'd be meeting presidents in Kenya. I never thought that I'd be speaking at the United Nations. On and on and on. All these blessings that I got once I got clean and sober, and stayed on the path of challenging the system, because the system still has my grandson. The system still has my nephews. The system still has. So we can't give up. And I'm blessed that my elder, Harry Belafonte, tells me, is that he doesn't want to hear the effing retirement word out of me. And I said, no, sir, because he's 94 years old and he's barking orders at me, and doing things. It gets me tired, of what he's doing. But what he says is that I tell him, I ask him, what do I tell people that say that they're getting tired? He says, tell them, another quote, tell them that I envy the luxury of getting tired doing the work. I envy the luxury of getting tired doing the work. Now, this is a man at 94 that walked with Martin Luther King and, had many mentors himself, and has done incredible things for people around the world. And to be next to him in different places, and it's amazing. You can't ask for better. And unfortunately, that today we're still losing a lot of our young people. We just lost I was telling you earlier in the show, we just had a ceremony for our father that lost his son, and how painful that was, but how beautiful that ceremony was at the same time. So I'd like to see, maybe we can introduce Aaliyah and have her say something, or you want to ask me something else? I'm open.
Absolutely. So first of all, Nane, let me just say thank you so much. We're in high honor, definitely, of your presence, of the work that you've done, of the way that you have paved the ways and set the example. It's so true. I think a lot of our people, don't understand and don't give themselves enough credit about the quality of their character, about the resilience of their being and their existence, and the importance and the value that they have in this world. And so just knowing that through your challenges, in the 70s, you decided that there was something different that you wanted to do with your world. And you've created a massive movement, a strong following. You look up to your elders. You have high regard for just change, for systemic change, to dissolving the oppression, unfortunately, that our people are still suffering today. And so it's just a really, really strong testament to those that are out there struggling right now, to those that are questioning their value, to those that are feeling unworthy, that we all have an opportunity to step up and be a role in a community and make a difference and be powerful, right? No matter what life's challenges throw our way, we have the ability. And so it's just a great honor to have been able to bring you on, to be in your presence, to get your wisdom and your blessings in all of the work that you do you've rubbed elbows with the greatest, you've been in so many different places. And for you to be here on this platform with us right now, sharing your wisdom and depositing everything that you have into our people, we just greatly, greatly appreciate you. So I definitely want to just recognize that. And I want to say thank you. And thank you to the Miss Royalty, Miss Jenny, who's out there and has supported you throughout your whole process and made you, feel connected and feel supported like that in a way of a loving relationship. I love that. And so definitely want to send it over to Miss Aaliyah, the queen in the background, making all kinds of magic happen for so many different people. I tell you. So we were making a joke this morning because we have technical issues, right? Boss is a little in the young side, but we've only been in this free world for a little bit a while. So for all of you that have stuck through our technical challenges, thank you so much. We have been troubleshooting like you wouldn't believe. So we have Alexis on our side, and then we have Queen Aaliyah over here on the other side, making sure that everything happens for Nane and all the magic. So Aaliyah, if you don't mind stepping up to the floor and introducing yourself, we would really appreciate it.
Okay. Hello, everybody. Thank you very much, Arturo and Niki, for having me, and Nane for having me on your show today. I'm really excited about this. My name is Aaliyah Ali Person. I recently came home after serving 8.5 years of a 10-year, 8-month sentence. I also recently graduated with honors with a dual degree. Most of that work I completed while I was at CIW. My degrees are in social and behavioral sciences and communications. As you can see on my shirt, it says education, not incarceration. I'm a firm believer that education, whatever kind of knowledge it is, because it can be from our elders, as Nani was saying, or it can be the school way. Whichever way you get further education, I think that is where our power comes from, truly, in being able to go and fight against the system that has been keeping us down for so long. It's not designed in our favor. And I'm still wearing an ankle bracelet. So clearly, I have kind of a bias, but I've seen it firsthand, as you guys have as well, that it's not the best way to deal with punishment in our society. I think there are many better ways to deal with that. And I've been blessed. So when I got out, I came out to a pandemic. There was nothing, like everything was closed. Everybody was closed. And so I'm from the Bay Area originally. So I called my people in the Bay, and I'm like, hey, do you guys know any services down here in Santa Cruz? And they're like, the only thing we know is Barrios Unidos. So I came here and I volunteered at the food distribution, and I met Mary Lou, then I met Nane, and I've been here ever since. I first started volunteering in the prison project, where we write letters to our incarcerated brothers and sisters, just giving them further cultural information, any kind of request that they are asking for. We're giving them that knowledge, the medicine, to help them heal and to give them hope, because you guys know what it's like to receive a letter when you're in prison, especially if you have nobody, like your family is like, you're worthless, we're done with you. And you get a letter from somebody, it brings up your spirits a lot. So that's where I first started working. Then they found out I could do graphics and web design, so they pulled me over to the other side. they pulled me over to the other side, which is BU Productions, our t-shirt shop. So it's a vocational training program for our youth, to give them alternatives to violence and gangs. So I love it over there. I do the graphics. I'm an artist as well, so I get to basically do art all day. That's what I say. So, and then Nana has pulled me back a little bit over here too to help with some more of the administrative work. So we're getting it done. You know how we need to do it. We're doing the work. I really respect Nane. Like, I can't even put it in words how much I respect this man sitting to my right here. He's been doing this work for as long as I've been living, which is truly a testament to how great everything that, you know, he's done is. Like I said, I can't really put it into words, but I really respect this man. I respect everything he says. I just watch and listen a lot. Like, I don't speak a lot, but I listen and I watch what he does and how he handles different situations. And especially when it comes to conflict of people, he's able to like resolve that in a very calm and wise way, which some people may not have thought of. So I just really appreciate everything he's doing, and I'm glad to stand to the side of him as well.
Thank you so much, Aaliyah. And first of all, welcome home. Congratulations on slaying it, Queen, and standing in your truth and standing next to greatness. I always tell people, if you spot that greatness, then you got that greatness, right? And so it's going to be so amazing. Same, Nane, like, you've been doing this movement since before I was born. You know what I mean? I wasn't even thought of yet, and you're already making magic happen in this world. So just thank you guys so much. It's a powerful team. We're so excited. We will be out there to see you guys on Thursday. We are doing cartwheels here in San Diego. Super excited to be able to just sit in your guys' presence, to have the conversations, powerful, meaningful conversations, relevant and important conversations about the community, about the changes, about the vision, about the mission, just about the transformation and the systemic racism and all of the different things that we plan on changing together in this movement, all the way up and down the state of California and nationwide. So this is going to be exciting. Let me pass it over to Arthur.
Thank you so much. And I think my mic's the one having technical difficulties, so I don't want to mess nothing up. I just want to keep it short, sweet, and simple. Thank you. Thank you, Nani. Thank you, Queen. Thank you, King, Queen. Thank you for encouraging us and inspiring us to stick to the mission. The roles and all that, that's one thing. But when we put our life's work and we stick to the mission with our people, our youth, individuals, our families, our incarceration, breaking them chains. And the reason that I started this work was for myself and my family, right? My family's bonded in drug addiction, incarceration, deaths, my wife and I, right? And so my wife and I just felt a passion to come back and help people, right? And when we help people with the intentions to support them, the rest comes to place. The rest fits in it where it needs to fit. So thank you for your support. Thank you for your mentorship. And thank you for your guidance. We look forward to seeing you in a couple days.
Yeah. If I can, I wanted a little bit about the program on Saturday. And then I'll start it. But you know, I wanted at in May we had a Life After Life event for men. Lifers coming home, and it was an incredible event. We had over 1,000 years of prison time present.
Wow.
And so, but we've also Barrios Unidos has also been going into the women's institution, and I remember from going to visit my aunts. That usually there was, you know, maybe 4 or 5 women visiting. And when you go to the men's, it's packed, you know. And so I said, why is that? You know, and, you know, I have much respect for my aunts and stuff, and I never judged them or whatever happened. It just it happened, you know. And as I would take their children into them, I would see that there was no men there visiting, you know, and women support their men while they're in prison. They support their nephews, their relatives, their mothers. You know, they come to visit. And as I visit many institutions and many relatives in prison, I see that. And so we said, no, we have to do something for the women that are coming home. The women that have done life, women have done numbers, whether it's 6 months or a day, doesn't matter. We have to support women. We as men have to support women. And we've called on the men to say, look, let's bring some four incredible women that change their life. They're changing the world. Let's listen to how did that come about, and why are we so slow into providing that support? I can understand the system. The system is we know it's not made for us, and it's broken. But we as a community, we have to welcome, we have to receive our queens and our daughters and our grandmothers that are coming home. And it's been a challenge to organize this, because men are not responding as they did to the men, life after life. And I just call it the way it is, you know. And so I call on all the men that are out there that get up and support. Just as much as you need that support, women should have it even more. And so I don't want to get into a soapbox here, but muchas veces we have to, remind ourselves and to say, hey, that ain't right. So, but Aaliyah and Mary Lou have been doing incredible work. So I want to see Aaliyah to talk a little bit about just what's going to happen on Saturday, and then if we have that time. Do we have?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
All right, Library.
So our event on Saturday is called I Survived Life. And basically, it's a chance for women to give their perspective of raising their families behind bars, or what it was like to be part of a family behind bars if you have no children, and basically we just want to give a different perspective, because at the event that we had in May, we heard a lot from the men. Yeah, we heard a little bit from us, the women, but a lot of it was from the men. So I just wanted to give the women a chance to give a different perspective, and also to let society see like how incarceration impacts women. I was writing something to my brother Sam, who works here, who also did 30 years this weekend, when I was asking him why his brothers aren't supporting us more. And I wrote, what role do women play in your life? Is it just sexual, convenient, cheerleaders, moral support, financial, chefs, maids? Or is it more than that? Friendship, love, unconditional love. Since we all came from women, regardless if our mothers were able to 100% be there for us or not, we should still respect them and be there for them in our society, especially the broken ones. And I said, if you uplift and empower women, watch a whole society change. I really heavily believe that, the woman is the center of our society. We always support the men. We always support the women. We are just the nurturers, the caregivers. I mean, that's how we were innately bred, like that's how we are. And without getting into too much of that, we'll expand more on that in our event. But I'm really looking forward to this. We have worked really hard for this, so hopefully it'll turn out great. Regardless if we have 50 people or 1,000 people, I know the event will be really strong, and a lot of good things should come out of it. So thank you guys for supporting us. And again, thank you for having us on your show. The youth it's very important that we guide them in the right direction, especially after last summer with the Black Lives Matter movement, and just knowing all of that stuff going into that. Like, I saw a lot drop off kind of, and people started going back to their regular ways. I really encourage the youth to keep fighting. Don't give up. Keep fighting, keep pushing forward for what you believe is right, because it probably is right. And just having the mothers and the grandfathers and the grandmothers in our community continue to support that. That's really important. We also have a movement here, Abuelos por la Paz, which means the grandparents for peace. And we encourage that and to continue stopping the violence in our communities. I grew up in East Oakland, which is still riddled with incredible violence and gun violence. And I get calls every day about another kid getting killed, another funeral. It's really heartbreaking to see that violence continue. And I just encourage you guys to keep doing what you guys are doing because it means a lot. One step forward, is better than 3 steps backwards. So thank you.
Thank you, Aaliyah, so much. And absolutely, I commend you for the strength, for the courage, and for being the front woman, to be able to say what's desperately needed. It is. Women are definitely falling through the cracks. So what I want to do is I want to highlight the event. So it's this Saturday. It's in Barrios Unidos. It's in Santa Cruz. The address is 1817 Sockwell Avenue in Santa Cruz, California, 95062. The event is from 11 a.m. to 3 o'clock p.m. I thank you guys for allowing me the privilege and opportunity to be one of the guest speakers there for that day. It will be me, Ellie, Lynn Acosta, and Hamdia. We're looking absolutely forward to having the platform, being able to share our experiences. We will even be live streaming it through Youth Empowerment so we can get some more support. If you're in the Santa Cruz area, I don't know what's up there because this is my first time up there. Thank you all so much for inviting us up there. So this is going to be a wonderful, wonderful experience. We're going to be, I feel like for whatever reason, I feel like I need to bless the bottom of my feet because I believe that with every single step that we take there, that it's going to be life altering. So I just greatly, greatly appreciate you guys for sending the invitation, for allowing us an opportunity to have our voices heard and creating such a special event and such a magical space for us to be able to share our experiences. And we know that through this experience and through this sharing, we're going to create healing, and we're also going to create a stronger community and a network. So for you guys even thinking to put this together to honor women, thank you so much. And for all of our folks that are formerly incarcerated, system impacted, that have been through the experience, no trauma is less trauma. Like Nane said, whether it's a day or whether it's a year or whether it's 100 years that we've been sentenced to, we have still experienced something, and we connect in spirit. And we connect in emotions, and we connect through those experiences. So we ask that you all show up, you all support, and just like what we're doing. If you guys have anything you guys want to close out with, I'm going to go ahead and close out with a quote. Nane, Aaliyah, do you have anything else that you would like to say?
One is I just wanted to close it out with your survival, brother. My son Pancho, he did 23 years in the SHU, and something happens, with so much solitary. And he's doing all right, but he's driving. But he drove yesterday. He drove from Fresno here to take me and Jenny to dinner, and he was like, had an accident and he's recovery, but he was just like blessed, and he took us to the restaurant that we had him when he was 12 years old, and introduced him to Sobes, and it was just like a whole reunion. And I look at him after he did 33 years altogether, but 23 of those years were in the SHU, and I see the effects, and so on. I thank you, brother. I listen to you. I hear you. That survival. And you're doing the right thing right now by doing what you're doing to express and to talk about it, because as a lot of us have to say things, certain things, but we have to. So thank you. And Niki, since the day I saw you and heard you, man, I'm just very inspired by you, and I thought we got to bring her up here, and we welcome you, and we will have a good ceremony over. Thank you.
Yes. So I want to close out with definitely giving you the recognition. So Lookout Santa Cruz recently, what? Did they recently publish you, Mr. Nane? Yes, they did. Loved it. So happy. It was amazing to be able to see that. So we want to definitely highlight that. So if you look out Santa Cruz, I'm going to put I'm going to send it so that we can put that in the chat so that everybody has an opportunity to read it. Because I thought that was a really amazing article. So let me just send that real quick. And
thank you, Nani. Like, thank you for your encouraging words. I know my microphone is a little on technical difficulties, but I'm here to support the people and just have the courage to come out from being in inhumane isolation torture to bring in resources to my people. So I'm there to represent, to collaborate, to partner, and to the event to support our women, right? I'm there to be there for Nikki and all the other ladies that are going to be there present. So we look forward to this flight and being there in person. Thank you.
so I'll close out with a quote. And this is so right on point. I love this. It's at the bottom. Yep. That. One of the marvelous things about community is that it enables us to welcome and help people in a way we couldn't do as individuals. When we pull our strength and share the work and responsibility, we can welcome many people, even those in deep distress, and perhaps help them find self-confidence and inner healing. Man, if I tell you, that just makes me want to take a knee right there. That just truly, truly touched my heart. So with that being said, I just definitely want to thank you all for your time. Thank you for your patience with us. Thank you for your consideration. We placed the article link inside of the chat for the Facebook Live people that are watching. Please share it. Like I said, it takes nothing to post it. It takes nothing to share it. It takes nothing to recognize it, to send a heart, to send some love, and to forward that to people in the community. We'll also be posting the flyer about the event on our YouTube page, on our Instagram page, on all of that. So anybody that's up in the Santa Cruz area, we ask that you just show up and support definitely the process. If not, then we'll be live streaming. We'll be on Facebook Live, so we'll have that opportunity. So with that being said, thank you all so much for your time, for your energy, for your presence. Like us on Facebook, like us on YouTube. We'll definitely share these out with you guys, and we will be able to see you guys soon. And so till next Tuesday, be good, be kind to each other, and I will see you guys this weekend.